What is up, my dogs? We are in Washington, D.C. I am joined by Mr. Matt Stark from SB Fishing TV, his wonderful mistress, girlfriend Priscilla, and my wife is holding the camera. There's a man playing the saxophone in the background. Right now, we're about to get a tattoo of a Jack Crevalle on my forearm and a wedding ring tattooed on my finger because I keep losing my wedding rings while I fish. Then tomorrow, we're going to go catch large fish on swim baits, hopefully. That is all.
Hopefully we can catch them. I mean, yeah, I catch them on the river and swim baiting because nobody throws them out there. Big ones like that.
You throw like live, right?
Yeah. I did just ordered a couple of Huddleston's.
Hey, real quick before we hop into the video, I just want to let you know it is sponsored by Carl's Bait and Tackle. If you don't know what Carl's Bait and Tackle is, it is an online website where you can buy all the goods that you need for your next fishing outing. I seriously get like 90% of my tackle there now. I could not recommend it more. I'll leave a link down below and you can join Carl's Club where you get 30% off on a ton of the stuff on the website. So you save a ton of money. It's super cool and I seriously use it all the time. And basically, every lure that I use in today's video I got off of Shop Carl, so make sure you go check out that link below and pick up some good. Wow, I could not get over how beautiful it is here. Holy crap. And we're just like right outside DC, a huge city, and we're out here in beautiful, beautiful woods, and we're about to drop the boat in. And the goal is gonna fish for some largemouth, but what we're really like secretly trying to do is catch some giant catfish on swim baits. There's huge blue cats and huge flatheads in the river system we're fishing in, and so I'm gonna roll some like heavy swim baits and see if we can hook into some like 20-25 pound cats, like some really big fish, and maybe we'll even find some smaller river run stripers while we're at it. But I'm just so excited to be here. It's beautiful. Got a wedding ring tattooed on my finger. Let me pull back the jack here. And there it is. The old submarine has been tattooed on the forearm, courtesy of Mr. Billy Bates, one of Matt's really good friends. And he was supposed to actually join us this morning, but ended up not being able to come. Heartbroken stuff, but he did some beautiful tattoo work on me, and I only passed out for like 3 minutes while they were doing my finger. Not even kidding. I was getting the tattoo done and from my finger, and I just like slumped over in my chair, and they had to like fan me and put wet rags on my neck and gave me something to drink so I'd like wake up. It was a very beautiful moment getting my first tattoos, but I mean, this looks incredible. It's the submarine logo that everyone's seen, but
big fan.
What's your thoughts for today?
I'm hoping we get out, get on a good bass bite, and run into some big cat daddies. I think that's the move. They're always out here. Last time I was out here, I was marking so many on the graph. They're almost hard to miss. Like you got to try to avoid them. So, we'll see.
Mr. Matt is dropping me in right now in his John boat here. I am very excited. I haven't fished in Virginia in probably over 4 years, 3 years. First time I've ever fished here. Oh no. First time I ever fished here was with Matt, and we had never met each other, and I flew into Virginia and we drove all night and fished for like a whole week straight together. Oh. This is just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, looking at like a nice graph, man. It's like such a game changer, I feel like.
So cool. I love looking at that. I spend too much time looking at it, to be honest.
Play some Minecraft on there?
Yeah, dude. You got games on that thing.
I'm gonna throw a Salt Native Electric Chicken Skelly Swim. This is a new bait by Petchco / Salt Native that I helped design, and my big dumb face is on the back of the package. So, we are bass fishing under the guise, no, I should say, I'm catfishing under the guise of fishing for largemouth bass. I would really like to just catch a big giant blue cat. Actually, I've never caught a blue cat, I don't think, before.
Never?
We're trying a new area here that Matt's never fished. We're actually marking a ton of fish on the graph, seeing a ton of bait. It's like semi-deep, it's 8 feet. I'm gonna slow roll a chatterbait. Matt is throwing a medium diving crankbait here, and we're seeing shad flipping. Matt's marking a ton of fish on the side scan, so could be good. This little rod with the chatterbait. Do I? Yeah, literally first cast chatterbait fish.
That's a good bass. When you get him, you gotta flip him.
I'm flipping right to you. How about that? Ugh.
Boom! That's a solid like 3, dude.
Hello, chatterbait.
Nice.
I'm glad
Nice cast. Hell yeah.
Beautiful, chalky, white, northern strain bass. I mean, you can tell how different he looks in a bass from Florida. That little knob head on him. Beautiful. Probably, what you think, 2.5 pounds, 2 pounds, just because how fat he is?
Pushing 3 for sure.
He's not a huge fish, but these northern fish are just fat little footballers. And that was on a chatterbait, and that is a Saucy Swimmer by Guggen Baits. I'll leave a link down for that below where you can get it off Shop Carl's. Awesome, figuring something out. That was literally the first cast with a chatterbait. That's a really great sign. We'll give him the old flipper dipper and hopefully whack a few more fish, especially if they're that size. I'd be real fired up about it. Holy crap, dude. First cast, it ate it while it was sinking.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
Like I literally was like, God, this chatterbait feels so heavy on this rod. I was like, I literally was about to be like, you throw this on this rod? I might literally try to like yo-yo this chatterbait back to the boat and see what happens. Felt like it. It was, I went to yo-yo it up and it just went doop. Oh, blow up right there. Oh! Oh, jiggy. Get jiggy, brother. Beautiful. Oh, he's got some black spots on him. Gosh, he thumped that jig, man.
Hell yeah.
Whew.
Another good one. Ain't bad.
It's a good spot. I was telling Matt earlier that I would love to smack a good fish on the jig because it's just not something that gets a ton of airtime in Florida for me. You know, you always will choose a Texas rig over a jig, it feels like, and that's a nice one. Another just super fat fish. They're really obviously starting to feed up for wintertime around here. It's starting to get cold, and there's another beautiful little pocket chunk. Thank you, Sonny. I think they're both of those fish were like halfway between the boat and the shore. Like I think they're literally right where that slope is.
Break line?
Yeah.
I agree.
Right. Oh my god!
I saw that.
Oh,
Wow.
sweet Jeepus!
Wow.
Holy! Like you saw my line go doom. I need to tighten down on that son of a gun before I swing on him. Jeez Louise. Ugh.
Swiped on it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you ever grabbed it. You literally just swiped it. Sweet mama. That was 2 hits along this stretch right here.
They were definitely stacked up on
Whew. Honestly, tide starts flowing out too. It's gonna push any minnows that are up on this flat off this edge, and they're gonna be all about it, I think. Oh, I'm gonna want to vomit,
I
dude.
literally saw your line.
Should I poke us like in, like follow this edge?
Click line?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we in here?
8.
8?
8. Almost 9. Oh, on. Good.
I can't tell. He's on the backside. He's on the backside edge. Angry little fish. Oh, dude.
Striper?
Striper, baby.
What?
Yes, sir.
You gotta be kidding me.
Came to say hi to you, buddy. Oh, yeah. Come here. Come here.
That's a nice one.
To the right, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
That one's only, that's like 12 feet.
All right, I just put on a Salt Native electric chicken paddle tail. Figured we're catching, or trying to catch striped bass, which are a saltwater fish technically. Throw a saltwater lure at them. We'll see. Matt's rocking a jig up front, looking for largemouth bassius. And I'm gonna see if I can smack some stripers. We're actually marking some what look like pretty big fish on the side scan. That could be really big striper, like not giant 40 inchers, but maybe some like upper 20s, something like that. Who knows? All right, so I'm just like kind of leaning real hard into this striper mission here. Matt lended me an A-rig right here. If you don't know what an A-rig is, it is called an Alabama rig, and it's basically like an umbrella style rig that actually started with striper fishing and then moved into bass fishing. And it could be so like good for bass fishing that they're actually illegal to use in most tournaments, right?
It's like really dependent on
where you're at. Yeah, a lot of tournaments you're not even allowed to throw an A-rig, and because people think they're too effective or whatever. But right here, got a school of skelly swims on some jig heads that we're gonna roll around and see if we can find a striper with. Okay, A-riggins. Pretty interesting, something I don't think I've mentioned about where we're fishing is that there's actually tidal flow, because this eventually connects to the Atlantic Ocean, and yeah, there's like a 3-foot tide swing, so I actually kind of feel at home. Fishing a little bit of current here. We got a big giant bridge in front of us. I got an Alabama rig. Matt's throwing a cranker. We just pulled up. We're about to fish a mega donkey bridge here in the heart of the United States. Bro, I feel like we should be fishing for like tarpon and freaking Goliath grouper and snook. Just some Goliath bass instead. Nice. Yeah, right on the backside of that pineling on the swim bait. Damn. It's a largemouth. I thought it was a giant crappie at first.
Oh, that's a good bass.
He's a weird looking fish. Break a rod tip 101. Whoo! Nice chunky fish out from underneath the bridge. The wind is hoofing, and we're getting tossed around in the little JB, but that is a beautiful, beautiful Virginia metropolitan bass right there, man. It's so insane. Like, we're looking, like, we can see like Air Force One and all these giant buildings, and we're sitting underneath the biggest bridge I've ever seen in my entire life, and we're catching green fish that live in ditches in Florida. That is awesome, man. There was like a second, I don't even know why, I thought that the fish is just so tall. Like, these fish are so much taller than Florida fish. I literally thought it was an enormous crappie at first. Getting a little sporty out here in the Potomac. Yeah.
Welcome to my little boat. It's very fun. We get, beat around.
A little wet by that crossing, bro.
2-foot waves.
After a very wet ride, we're hitting what might be the last spot of the whole after morning. I don't even know what time it is. It got rough out here on the river, but Matt's a seasoned pro and guided us. We're fishing a nice deep hole, looking for cat daddy and largemouth. You show me the way to the cat honky. You throw them just as far up as you can and pulling it off. About to happen. That is a Googan Baits Bandito bug, a 1-ounce tungsten peg, and I have a heavy hammer hooked by Ketchco. And I'm gonna drag this mother through some of this wood here and find a cat daddy. Matt just smashed himself one while I was re-rigging, a little 4 or 5 poundy. So I'm hoping I can find Big Caesar. Sorry. I'll make like a last cast. Well, Matt and I had a beautiful, beautiful day of fishing for largemouth and catfish and striper. Really, really windy out there on the river, but it was super fun getting to fish in the area. And right now we're about to just live life like you do in Virginia. We're gonna start a fire, drink some adult beverages, and just enjoy our last night here with Matt and his wonderful girlfriend Priscilla, and they got a few friends over, and we're just gonna have a nice time here, and then it's off to the next destination.
You got me acting out, you. Oh, tenderness is out the window. What you do to me when the cold